Key points. FEMA Grants Portal used to process and develop projects. Get projects obligated by FEMA. NCEM grants. Once project is obligated, RFR with state is logged here. Some info syncs from FEMA for you. Essential to get funding disbursed to you. Only certain individuals within your organization can access these portals to maintain or approve info. Can get consultants access if necessary. Make sure you are familiar with the person who has this access. Examples of documentation that would be entered into FEMA grants, NCEM grants. Documentation management is important to ensure timely and accurate info being entered into both systems. The public assistance process consists of FEMA, the state recipient, and local subrecipients working collaboratively to administer funding following a disaster. Proper submission of documentation is essential in meeting eligibility requirements as well as making sure project costs are ultimately obligated. Some of the documentation that must be submitted includes labor documentation, such as timesheets, activity logs, and proof of payroll, equipment documentation, such as equipment rates, inventory, and pre-disaster maintenance records, and contract documentation, such as procurement policies, invoices, and requests for quotes. There are two main online systems used during the public assistance process. These are FEMA's Grants Portal and the North Carolina Emergency Management (NCEM) Grants System. The FEMA Grants Portal is the software used to submit documentation and information for project development and to track the status of their public assistance applications through obligation. The NCEM Grants System is the software used post-obligation to submit documentation for and track reimbursements and public assistance deadlines. The FEMA Grants Portal is the web-based system where required project application information is submitted and approved through obligation. FEMA, recipients, and subrecipients use this system to keep all stakeholders informed throughout the project development process. Project obligation also occurs in the Grants Portal. Finance coordinators, or the appointed applicant representative, upload their required documentation to FEMA through this portal. Documentation is organized in a particular manner in the FEMA Grants Portal. Here is a simplified explanation of that process. The organizational profile is not disaster-specific. Therefore, documents across multiple disasters can be submitted here. Documents that pertain to a specific disaster are uploaded to the event profile. Documents specific to a single project are uploaded to the project section. Documents about a specific damage item are uploaded to the damage section. Improper documentation may result in unvalidated work, prompting FEMA to submit a request for information, RFI, to evaluate the eligibility of the work further. A response is usually required within 15 days of receipt of the RFI. Information is submitted to the FEMA Consolidated Resource Center, CRC, through the Grants Portal for project review and development. Subrecipients can submit a request for public assistance, RPA, immediately after a disaster declaration in the NCEM grants system. This system syncs information such as project numbers and disaster dates with the FEMA Grants Portal. Once projects are close to obligation, they will appear in NCEM grants. Requests for reimbursement, RFR, are submitted here after a large project is obligated. At this time, documentation that supports the RFR is also submitted. This includes documentation previously uploaded to the FEMA Grants Portal, as well as additional documentation that supports the request. Once documentation is submitted, NC grant managers review the document package in NCEM grants. Reimbursements are processed, or the grant manager will request more information if needed. Small and large project reimbursements are processed differently. Your grant manager will advise you of the most current processes at the time of the disaster. Once initial reimbursements are given, if the scope of work has changed, subrecipients must resubmit document packages to FEMA and NCEM grants. This process of submission, reimbursement, and repair can continue several times until damages are restored to pre-disaster conditions. This cycle results in what are called project versions, and may also result in multiple de-obligations and obligations. Documentation that is submitted to the FEMA Grants Portal and NCEM grants system is the foundation in which reimbursements are granted. It is important that subrecipients provide proper supporting documents for their claims to ensure timely reimbursements. Thank you for watching.